Hi.
Hello. Welcome to episode 2
Dos.
of the Pretty and Witty Book Club. We are so excited that you're here. For those of you that don't know or don't remember, I'm Jessica.
I'm Kayla.
And we do book club every week. Just the two of us.
Welcome.
At my house. Not because we don't like other people.
But we also don't.
Although that does tend to be true. I'm sorry. But because I can't go to book club. Like, my life does not allow me to go to book club. I have kids at home in the evening. My husband works in the evening. I feel awful asking my mom to babysit my kids a lot. So I just don't. So we have book club here. I also don't like to have a lot of people at my house.
That's fair.
I don't like hosting. So there's that.
Whatever.
But this is how we bring book club to you. We are so excited because we read what we agreed to read.
Awesome.
And we read a little more.
Listen, these books get really detailed. There's lots of details. And then you just want to keep reading. So we kept reading. I think we said we're going to read between chapter 15 and chapter 20.
Mm-hmm.
We're on chapter 20. Like, we read through 28. So,
yeah,
there's that.
If you didn't, that's okay. We will tell you when, where we get to, and then at 15. So if you stopped at 15, you can stop. Then we'll tell you when we get to 20. So if you stopped at 20, that's where we'll stop, because we didn't tell anybody else we were going over.
And if you read more, then you can just hang out with us the whole time.
And we're going to choose more chapters for next week, because we are going to devour this book. It was so hard stopping at 28. I had to start a new book I read every day. So I had to start a new book to keep myself going and not picking that book up and continuing to read, because we probably would have finished it.
Oh, I would have finished it. 100%. We had the weekend, I would have finished it.
Yeah, it was a long weekend. We did not plan this well.
It wasn't great planning on our show.
Oh, you had to work.
What do you mean?
You didn't have...
Oh, no, I did work on Monday. You were off.
I was off.
That's why she started a new book. Yeah. I just started rewatching Euphoria. So I didn't start a new book.
I've never watched that.
Well, Zendaya has my heart. So.
I know. She has a major crush on Zendaya.
Zandaya's beautiful.
She is beautiful.
In this show, she's very tomboyish.
Thankful for me, Lance just likes curvy women. That's a good thing. Okay. So normally what we do for book club is we go through things that we highlighted. So I'll be like, tell me what you highlighted. And then we'll just go back and forth like, oh, yes, I highlighted that too. I also highlighted this. We just go kind of through chapter. So that's what we'll do today. I did come in here. This is my front room. We call it that because it's at the front of my house.
Great name.
I did come in here to do some of my Diamond Dot stuff over the weekend, because I do that stuff. And I went ahead and marked on my bingo card that Adam makes an appearance. Because if you went past the first 2 or 3 chapters in this, past initiation,
Adam comes.
You know that Adam does, in fact, make an appearance. So we could have used that during initiation, because he is in initiation, but I felt like for me the story didn't really start until after that is over, because every book talks about the Lord's initiation. So but he is in this book quite a bit, actually. So I did go ahead and mark that off. I also wasn't sure about this one because he was there, but she wasn't.
That's what I was trying to remember. So she wasn't. Okay, cool.
So I wasn't sure. Do we count it or do we not?
No.
Okay. So
I think I'm caught up.
Okay.
I have one more than you do.
You do?
Yeah. You only have.
I didn't do this one because I wasn't sure if
we'll discuss that.
Belts and okay.
I think the last time it was more than just, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's when I was like, okay, now I can
bar,
it was a lot.
A spreader bar and a hood and a gag and handcuffs. So I felt like
that was the one where I was like, okay, no, we're counting it now.
Okay,
yeah.
So that was on Cash
ties up
Eve. The FNC, but I don't see it. There it is.
Yeah.
I feel like you could have placed mine better so that I could have bingo by now.
I don't even have bingo yet.
I like how you changed the colors on yours.
So I'd remember which one's for this because I'll get confused.
That's going to bother me.
You're fine.
Okay, so do you want to start and tell me what you highlighted? The only thing I highlighted in chapter 1 was just his full name, which is Cashton Landon Pierce.
Okay, so I did highlight that. So the first 4 chapters, it's all of these books. The first 4 chapters are their freshman year initiation, sophomore, junior, and senior initiations. So we learn about all that. For the Spade brothers, their junior year initiation, we've gotten different POVs of them on the yacht.
Yes.
So we got more of Cashton's.
That was a joint.
Yes, it was an
initiation.
Which is why we've gotten different POVs because it was an initiation they all had to do together. They all had different assignments,
which is odd because apparently that hasn't happened before.
Yeah. So obviously we got his full name, Cashton Landon Pierce.
Yeah.
And we got to check off.
I don't know why I really like the name Cashton.
It's an interesting name.
If Haley had been a boy, I wanted to name her Cash, and Lance told me no. So I think she was a girl. And we didn't have to talk about it.
Oh, he's like, thank God. I like Cash. Cash does meet Eve during initiation. That was on our bingo card, but we checked that off last week because we had already read those.
Oh, I forgot that we read those. We just didn't go over.
Yeah, we didn't really go over them. So sucked. Other than that, Cash also hates his dad.
Me too.
In the first 4 chapters, we're like, oh yeah, he hates his dad. Farther in we're like, oh, we understand now why he hates his dad. And we also hate his dad. Yeah, we don't like him. Which we haven't cared for many of the parents in these books.
All of the parents are awful.
I think I can name one parent that I was like, okay, he's cool. And he went off to like his own private island or something. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think it's Blake's dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike Riot's dad.
I don't remember much about Riot's dad.
Exactly. He wasn't a big person in there, and
that we know of. For all we know, he's gonna pop up in one of these books, and we're gonna be like, we hate him too.
That's true. But he was the one that was like telling Blakely, like, you gotta. This is what has to be done, and you gotta like. Well, I mean, they're all jerks.
Yeah.
To everybody.
But they're raised like that too.
Yes.
So, the women are raised to be servants, and the men are raised to have
take
servants.
Anything and everything they want.
Yeah. So okay.
These new women, though, are.
Listen.
This generation of women are like changing the narrative.
I am in love with Eve.
I know you are.
She takes no shit, and that just has my heart. My heart breaks for her, but in the same breath, it's also really like, but I love her. Like, she's doing great. Love her. So the next thing I highlighted was in chapter 3. So that was part of initiation. That's quite a bit in there.
Yeah. Okay, I highlighted in chapter 3 too.
Okay.
It's probably the same.
All right, so I don't even know your name. I want to roll my eyes at myself. I'm just trying to come up with reasons as to why I shouldn't be here with her right now. So this is Cash when he meets Eve. Like her name matters. It didn't when I first saw her out on the deck. Eve. So that's where we learned her name. She just says Eve here, but we learn in later chapters that her full name is Everett. Did we get her full name, like middle and last too?
I think we did.
If we did, I don't think
I did.
I'm not gonna pull up Google because we get spoilers.
Yeah, we can't.
We'll Google it in our books on that. And then I have
Sinclair.
Oh yeah, it is Sinclair. Okay, yeah. For some reason, when I read Sinclair, I was like, that seems familiar. That's weird.
Does, right?
Okay, so I'm not the only one.
No.
All right. I didn't. Sinclair, like, I don't know, messed with me a little. I don't know if this is good or not.
I'm gonna have to search my other books now.
I highlighted some sex scenes. Mainly because
started on page 20.
Okay, so that was on 19, and then my next one is on 20.
Okay.
I ignore Saint and I pull out my wallet, opening up, I scan his license and frown. It's him. So the other Spade brothers catch up to Cash, and they're like, did you kill your guy? And he initially is thinking no. but then he pulls out the license of the guy who he did kill for Eve, and it is him, but it doesn't match the picture. The name on the license matches, but it doesn't match the picture. So we know that that's probably going to come back in some way later on. So then he's like, maybe I did kill him, and it's just a lot of confusion, and then the chapter ends. So we don't get any more about that. And even when it's mentioned a little bit later, it's mentioned that he completes his assignment as a senior. So yeah,
the Lord's let it slide if it's wrong.
They're like, cool, we wanted him dead too.
Yeah, whatever.
And then my next chapter is in 4.
I didn't highlight in 4.
It's just a blurb. Let's see. Oh, it's when that's the senior year, and it's when his dad goes to brand him, so he's past initiation, and he says his full name, so that's where you highlighted that. But then it's the way that Cash describes his dad. He said, he never wanted me to make it this far. And then, so he's just like laughing in his face. Like he wants to laugh at him because he's like, oh, I accomplished something that you didn't want me to do. So we don't really know why he feels that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I highlighted that. And then I have chapter 26, which is also in 4, I guess. And he says, if my existence makes him angry, then I will vow my life to make him miserable. So it's just Cash talking about his dad more.
Hating on his dad.
He hates that. I should cover it in that part. And then I have some stuff from chapter 5.
My chapter 5 starts on page 28.
Same. Go for it.
Okay, so I highlighted where it's from Eve's point of view, where it says, once they are finished, I'll sew him up and he will be collected. I highlighted that because this tells us who she is. Because in Madness, Hayden and Cash get an assignment, which they don't really get assignments. They get a pick of a delivery. And so they are called out kind of in the middle of the night to go to the cathedral to pick up a Lord. And when they get there, there's a girl there who, which we now know as Eve, was sewing up a Lord that had been tortured, I guess.
Yeah, they have a name for it. I can't remember.
I know they do offerings, but it's not confessional. He was there for a confessional. And so she was sewing up all of his injuries and cleaning him up. So when she said, I'll sew him up and he will be collected, that's what Cash and Hayden were there to do, was collect him. And in Madness, Cash says to Hayden after she leaves, Cash says to Hayden, do you believe in coincidences? And Hayden says no. And Cash says, me neither. And that's it. You don't find out anything else about that
until this book.
Yes, in Madness. So it kind of just leaves your brain. Like and then it just leaves your brain. You don't find anything else about that. You don't find out who that Lord is. You don't find out what she's doing. Like they just left in the middle of the night, and then you just kind of leaves you hanging. But there's so much other stuff going on in Madness that your brain doesn't think, well, that storyline didn't get wrapped up. So when she said that, I was like, it's that girl. So that's what he meant by, do you believe in coincidences? So he's already met her years ago on the Isabella, the yacht, during initiation, loses her on the yacht, doesn't see her again, and this is 6 years later. He runs into her at the cathedral on this night that she's talking about. So that's why I highlighted that, because for me, I instantly knew who she was when I read that line.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the line that Rayleigh was talking about.
I'm assuming it is. I think I confirmed it with her at the gym. She said, yeah, it was that one. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So good, because I was worried that I wasn't going to catch it.
You did. I did not. But I also didn't read Madness. No.
Oh.
You had to tell me.
Oh, but you didn't read Madness.
Yeah.
So, but she didn't either.
No. But there's parts of Madness that she doesn't remember.
Oh.
She's like, who is this person? I have to explain it to her. So, but it's only because
it's my Cliff Notes.
I highlighted something in chapter 5 on page. Our pages must be different. This says page 28, but it's not that stuff. It's Eve. It's a flashback of Eve's, and she is seeing a girl that no one else sees.
Oh, yeah.
At first, I thought that they were messing with her, that they're like, no one's over there. What are you talking about? Like, trying to convince her that she was crazy. But then she continues in flashbacks. She continues to see this girl.
I think I have my font bigger because I
Is
don't always
that why
wear
it changes the pages?
I don't always wear my glasses.
I figured it would just sync as in like pages, whatever. I don't know. Anyways, so that's why I highlighted that, because initially you think that they're messing with her.
Just tell me Helen Keller because I can't see or hear.
And then it's confirmed that she really is seeing whoever this person is, this girl. So she's, I don't know.
It's her coping mechanism.
Yes. The woman who comes in.
Yeah.
Has it been named as Isabella Casella? I assume it's her.
I thought that's who it was too, but I don't think
it's been named. Yet. I'm assuming it's Isabella, and Isabella keeps asking her dad, "Have you had her tested?" Like, she has schizophrenia, like she sees shit. And she keeps asking her, and he finally is like, "I'm not getting her tested." Like, so
I'm waiting for it to reveal who her dad is.
Same, and her brother.
Yeah.
Let's see. Eve in this is still chapter 5.
Yeah.
Eve keeps getting phone calls, and I know I was trying to guess who it was, and I guessed right. This is one of the ones that I told Ray, I was like, I told you. Because she keeps getting phone calls. She goes, well, who do you think that phone call is from? And one of the people she's getting phone calls from is Adam.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, it's totally Adam. And she's like, no, it's not. I was like, okay. And then as soon as it was, I was like, I told you. But the other person she's getting phone calls, texts from is her dad.
That is a weird relationship.
It's an odd one.
It's not her dad. It's her dad. Well, that clarified it for you.
She thinks of this guy as her dad because no one else has ever protected her or taken care of her in the way that she feels that he is. So she claims him as her dad, and he claims her as his like daughter. So he feels the same way about her. And from what we've seen and heard from the book, he has been good to her. I don't trust it.
I don't trust him at all.
I don't trust it. And it's because of who he is. We know he's shady, and his hand is in all the little pots that have happened in all these books, and I just don't trust it.
So, I don't trust him at all.
Yeah.
It's Bill.
It's Bill. Or William. So that's her dad. We still don't know who her biological dad is.
Yeah.
I have a lot highlighted in chapter 5. I don't know why. Oh, never mind. That's whenever she notices that it's Cash and Hayden walking in the cathedral when she's sewing up the guy. Also, which we have not figured out yet, she says, both of these men have seen me naked, and they're both acting like they've never seen me. Obviously, we get it from Cash's perspective that he does know her, but in Madness, when Hayden's talking about this, he's acting like he doesn't know her. He hasn't said anything. So all I can think is that she was at Dollhouse at one point, and he was so drugged out at Dollhouse that he saw her but doesn't remember, and she clearly remembers him. That's the only reasoning I can get.
Yeah. I was trying to think because, like, she was in Vegas at one point.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, he didn't go to get Ashton.
So, I don't know. That's just, that annoys me that we've gotten both POVs, and Cashin acknowledges that he knows her, but Hayden doesn't acknowledge that he knows her in Madness. So, that's all I can think is that that's the only time when he was so
and
out of
Hayden
it.
hasn't, like, her name has come up numerous times in this book. Obviously because it's about her, but also, like, within the Spade brothers. And he doesn't. And he has never been like, oh, I know her. Like, he has no idea who she is. So I'm wondering if she was prostituted out to him, and maybe he was just so messed up at that time that he just doesn't recognize her.
The only one that acknowledges that he knows of her is Sin. when he bought Ellie the house. Because Bill was the lawyer that bought him the house. But he didn't introduce him as Bill. He introduced him as, he gave him a fake name. That's later on.
Right. But he didn't know anything about her until the detective brought it up, and then he saw her at his mom's house. Because the picture that was on the desk at Bill's office was Charlotte.
Oh, okay. But yeah.
I didn't highlight anything in 6, so I don't know what happened in that.
I think this is all still in chapter 5. Hold on.
I did highlight some more stuff in 5, but it was just like, she was wondering if she held out her hand to Cashton to see how he reacts. Does he remember her? And then Cashton's point of view, I took a shower, put on clean clothes, and found myself driving back to the cathedral. 6 years I've been looking for my girl, and she's right here. So obviously, yes, he does remember her. And that's all I highlighted in 5, and I didn't highlight anything in 6. And I do that sometimes. I get so into reading that I forget to highlight. Yeah. So I don't know if I didn't highlight because there was nothing to highlight, or if I didn't highlight because
I know for a fact when we get into the farther chapters, I stopped highlighting, but it was because I was so into it. So we're eventually gonna get to the point where I'll be like, well, I have nothing. So I have a flashback of Cashton's. The first flashback is when he's 8. And
flashbacks are painful.
He goes down to the basement, which is where they torture people and like lords and ladies that are supposed to be dead now. And there's a woman in a cell that he talks to, and that's the first flashback. And then we get several more flashbacks. All of them are at 12 years old, where he's talking to the same woman. And he's like bringing her cookies, and I think at one point he brings her milk, and he's just talking to her. I think he tries to bring her a blanket.
Awful, because during the initiation that he was in, where they had him locked in that room and they slid him milk and cookies. Yeah.
Do you think that's why?
Yes.
Oh my god. That makes me so sad.
Because his fear is being alone. And she was in there alone. And he was in
the same dick.
He was in the same cell because it had all the telly marks on the wall.
Oh, that's good. That makes me sick. I didn't connect that.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
For making it worse.
Yeah, you did make it a lot worse.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Anyways, this book is really heartbreaking for many reasons.
It's so sad, but so good. Keep reading.
Yeah. Or not.
But don't judge us. I highlighted, is that all you highlighted in 5?
5 must have been a long chapter, because no. And a lot of it's just like going back to different stuff, though. So this is a highlight. He's saying, I'm fighting with my brothers. Hayden's been MIA. So I think I highlighted this because it gives us a bit of a timeline where we're at in the timeline.
Okay.
Hayden has been MIA, apparently screwing his therapist. Yes. Then he pops up with her after someone breaks into the place he's been staying at.
Yes.
I don't think he plans on keeping her at Carnage. He's going to go back into hiding.
Which he did. The guy that wrote another house was looking for Adam. Which is weird.
Cash follows Eve and finds out where she lives.
Yeah.
Then immediately,
that was a little too easy, which if somebody were to follow me, I don't like when cars turn the same way I
do. One turn, immediately on alert.
Yeah.
What you doing back there? They might be going to Walmart too.
They're not parking near me because I'm driving to the whole other end of the parking
lot. Then he immediately buys a house across the street. So
that's the kind of energy I want to see right there.
God forbid someone follows you, but buy the house across the street.
If they love me, you know.
Who is Amber?
I don't know.
I get one snippet of Amber. So in him buying the house, he's obviously faking a lot of stuff.
I thought it was a flight attendant.
He's with the realtor. He could be. He's with the realtor with a woman. And then the woman says, honey, do you want to look around? Like with the realtor there. So it's not the realtor who says that. And it says, Amber asked me. So I Googled in Madness and Carnage, and Amber was in Madness, and she showed up. She was when let me get my words straight. When Hayden took Charlotte to the doctor's office, it is some type of plastic surgery office, and a girl is sitting there when Charlotte is told to sit down. Hayden walks in the back, and
was her name Amber?
Her name was Amber.
Uh-uh.
Because Hayden walks up, he goes, "Hi, Amber," and then Amber's tone immediately changes. She goes from, "Hi, how are you? Oh my gosh, is your boyfriend buying you new boobs?" And then she quickly finds out that she's related to, or in connection with Hayden, and that says that Charlotte looks back and Amber's face is cold and it's just like staring her. That is the only mention of Amber in all the books. That's all I got. So I don't know who Amber is, and she's only brought up the one time. So I don't know if he hired a hooker or what and Amber's a hooker to act as a couple buying the house.
He didn't even need to act as a couple. Single men buy homes all the time.
Exactly. He was just going. He wanted to go that extra step.
I guess.
That's where he finds out that
maybe he felt more appropriate asking questions to the realtor about Eve because he had a woman there with
him. Maybe that is where he finds out that Eve's daddy bought her the house across the street.
The realtor made it sound real gross.
She did, but then we find out later it's Bill, and we're like, oh, it's not her daddy; it's like her dad. But the realtor assumed it was her daddy.
Past Bill. The only reason why I think he's not doing anything shady to her sexually is because he
knows her
says that she trusts him.
Yeah,
she says it,
and she don't trust anyone.
If she says that he didn't do it, then okay, but.
I think just glitched on. Let's see. He's stalking her. He looks across the street. Eve comes home early in the morning, and he says that she's dressed like she's been at Kink or something, which is the sex club in these books.
That club is from the Dark Kingdom series. Little crossover for you. Hook, who starts the club, is a lord.
Yes. There's a connecting club, isn't there? Or is that the King's Club? You know what I mean? Maybe I'm thinking of Jasmine. I don't know.
You are.
Okay,
Jasmine is opening up one of those clubs in her area, but Hook doesn't want to do business with a woman, so she gets Bones to be one of her partners on paper.
Yeah.
So that Hook will do business with her.
That's what it was. Okay.
Because Hook is a lord and thinks that women are beneath him.
What do you have highlighted next?
I don't have anything until 7.
Okay.
And what I highlighted was Cash Daddy and Hey Cindy. Because I love the bromance.
The bromance takes a hit and it hurts my heart.
It does. Oh my God. I wanted to cry.
I can't tell if what I highlighted was us finding out that Eve kills men or what. Because Cash says it makes me wonder if I killed the guy from the Illis Villa because she wanted me to. So yeah, that is in 6. And then we go to 7.
Okay. Well, what did you highlight?
She did kill someone in 6.
Okay.
So we find out that Eve is...
She's like a hitman.
Yeah. She goes to a bar with the intent on... She has a specific person that she has to find, or they have to find her. Then she acts like she's going to go back to a hotel room with them, and she kills them.
She lures them in with her good looks and sexy high heels.
It's great. This is when I fell in love with Eve. I was like, oh yeah, you do it. Yeah! I was so happy.
She takes them out.
But Cash follows her, and that's how we find out, because it's from Cash's POV that we find out that she's killing men that she gets to the bar. And then it's 7. So.
I don't know if you can hear my children yelling.
She's singing Peanut Butter Jelly Time.
She's 4.
Kid to a millennial mom right there.
Raising them right. So the romance between Cashton and Sin, which his name is Easton Sinnott. He is not a spade brother, but he is a lord, and they're close. So hi Haley. He after Adam's funeral, who isn't dead, spoiler alert, sorry. After, what did she say? After Adam's funeral, Cash is really pissed off, so he goes to Sin's house. And Sin opens the door and says, "Cash Daddy."
I love it.
I do too, but Cash is so upset because he thinks that it's Sin's fault that Adam is dead, and so he like beats him up.
Yeah.
Bad.
And Sin doesn't fight back.
He doesn't fight back at all, and Ellie is there, and she gets so upset.
She's uber pregnant.
Understandably so that she would be so upset. I mean, if a man walked into my house and started beating the crap out of my husband, I would be pissed as well. And so they kick him out, and then he gets a text to meet at the airstrip at midnight.
Yeah.
And all three of the Spade brothers get it, and then they get on the plane and find out that Adam isn't dead, which we found that out at the end of Madness and Hayden's story, so I'm not giving away any details or anything. But now he's like, what a POS I am, because I just beat up my best friend. And at the end of Madness, so the two Spade brothers that are at Carnage say, what? Okay.
Okay, what were we talking about?
So, Saint and Hayden leave the plane at the end of that epilogue and go back to Carnage because their wives are there. And Cashton leaves the plane and takes off on his bike. And they assume, and we assume because they assume, that he's going to meet a woman. So we're like, oh, we're going to find out in this book who it is. No, he's going back to his best buddy, Cindy, to apologize. It doesn't go well.
Ellie pulls a gun on.
And in doing that, he tells Sin that he knows that Adam is alive, and why didn't you tell me? And it pisses Sin off, because if Adam knows, then anybody can tell the Lords that Sin did not complete his assignment, which would have been to kill Adam or bring him in, and that puts him and his family at risk. Because the Lords, if you don't complete your assignment, you've now betrayed your oath, so they will either hunt you down and kill you, or send you to Carnage, in which case his wife would be
regifted.
Which means another ward.
Given to another ward, yeah.
And so he's just pretty much pissed at Cashton at this point, and so the bromance, they break up.
It's really sad.
It's awful.
They don't talk to it. It's really sad.
And Cashton has like abandonment issues.
And you get all of his inner monologues of his heartbreak over Sin, which you think is silly, but when you realize slowly why he doesn't like being alone, you get why he's just like he needs his sinning.
So that happens in this chapter, and so I did highlight where so he's discussing this with Sin, and Sin says, the Lord's made me put Ellie through hell. Her entire life has been fucking hell. I bought her this house so she has a place to feel safe, to know that no matter what her days are like, she can come home and I'll protect her. So this was in response to Cashton saying you guys can hide it at Carnage if that makes you feel more comfortable. If the Lords find out what I didn't do, they will kill me and regift her to another Lord who will most likely put her through more fucking hell. And the babies, she's pregnant with one, and her mom.
It's gonna sound so bad.
Her mom is pregnant with one, but her mom is a prisoner at Carnage, so they're just keeping her kind of sedated in the infirmary right now.
So they're gonna raise them as twins.
He shakes his head. I'd rather you think I killed your entire family than put my wife through that. So he was willing to keep that secret and have Cashton just be mad at him than risk his family. Understandably so. I didn't highlight it again until chapter 12.
Okay. There is something I highlighted in 7. It's Eve. I don't recall what happened. I'm assuming it's Cash messing up one of her kills. I don't know. But Eve gets a text that says, "You owe me." And it says, the text is followed by a video. My pulse begins to race and my hands shake as I hover over play. I have an idea of what I'm going to see. If it's what I think it is, he's right. I'll owe him. And the thought of him coming to collect terrifies me, but a deal is a deal. And I made one with the devil. I sit paralyzed watching the 10-second video, knowing I have to do something after it ends. I have little control over my shaking hands as I call the one person I know I can help. I owe the man in the video everything. He saved my life once. The least I can do is save him too. So, in rereading that and knowing what we know so far, I don't know what the video is of, but I'm assuming it's either of Adam or Bill, because Bill saved her, and Adam has pretty much he's been like a brother to her. So, but I don't know what the video is of. I just know it's with
We
them.
haven't figured that out
And
yet.
I can only assume that it's her brother texting her, because we find out that her brother is not a great person. So
not shocking based on the relationship with her dad.
Yeah. So, let me go back to. Oh, not that. Okay. My annotations are loading. All right. So I just have a single highlight. I don't know whose POV it was in. It just says, Adam's alive. Dollhouse is an operation for human trafficking. Breeders. Lords selling their children outside of secret society.
That has to be Cash.
Right. So we know all of those things. Adam's alive. Dollhouse is for human trafficking. There's a thing that's a breeder, which Jessica explained in the last video, I believe. Basically, if a woman has no other purpose and her only purpose is to have children. What we find out is that Eve is one of those, I'm assuming Eve is one of those children that is given to a lord. So, yeah. And then the lords are selling their children outside of the secret society. So the lords have nothing to do with the selling of their own children, but the lords within the society have decided to do this thing. We know Ellie was not necessarily sold, but she was abused within the society by other lords.
Yep.
And we now know that Eve has been under the same thing has been happening to her, but it's gone a step farther in that she's actually being sold to other lords and then is brought back home and trained more and then is given. And sometimes they just come to the house. So
they rent her.
Yeah.
Instead of selling.
Yeah. So Eve's flashbacks are heartbreaking and really hard to read. So if you do have that trauma, just be prepared for this book. That there's a couple flashbacks that I'm just like, that's rough. That's rough.
Yeah.
There's one in particular where I was like, I gotta put this book down. And I did. I put the book down. I was like, I'm not gonna read for a little bit. So yeah. And then I have chapter 8. Because you haven't highlighted till 12?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's why we go over them together, because I know that you pick up where I
go back and
off.
forth. Chapter 8 is Eve talking about the girl that she sees. I was 8 years old when I started seeing my make-believe friend. I know she wasn't real, but I didn't care. She didn't speak to me at first, but her presence was enough. She wasn't beaten or raped. She was different, a figment of my imagination. There's different flashbacks that make me wonder if this girl, it really is real. Because sometimes she'll talk to her and sometimes she won't. But when she talks to her, she says things that I don't know. I don't
like her.
The friend?
Yeah.
God. I can't tell if she's real or not. Part of me feels
she is, just because she disappears when the dad walks in. Yeah.
But then all I can think about is I'm a horror movie person.
Do you think it's a ghost?
No, I think it's so I can't remember. It was either an episode of Supernatural or it's one of these horror movies where they thought it was a ghost, but it wasn't, because as soon as someone would walk in or they turn their head, there was they would little secret doors in the wall, and they were living in the walls.
You think she's got a twin living in the wall?
Maybe.
Why aren't they raping her?
And also, why are they acting like she's not there? So, anyways, my horror mind movie went to that. So that's her talking about that. Just talking, I highlighted something about the founder's enhancements.
You can hear humming. It's the 4-year-old again.
Yep.
She's living on the dog right now. Go on.
There is... I don't remember why I highlighted this. She calls Adam. And she's like, I need to go. She's like, we'll take... Why is she saying the train? Says, I remove my cell. I pull up the number. The only person I know can help me. Hello, Eve. I'm headed to the station. Oh, she's getting arrested. Not the train station. The station. She goes, train station? Don't be silly. Take the jet. I'll call and have it ready for you. And she's like, police station. So he thought she was going to the train station.
That makes a little bit more sense. I was like, why would you think train? Who takes a train anymore?
I only can think it was Rip and Yellowstone. Going to the train station.
That's a different kind of station.
It's because she found a dead body. And there's multiple dead bodies found. We later find out.
Haley, please be quiet.
And she found one of them, so she's being questioned.
She didn't just find one, like it found her.
Yeah.
It was placed right where she goes all the time, and on the person's back, it's carved in your neck, so it's a little concerning. Yeah. Haley, please be quiet. Thank you. Are you up to 12 now? Oh.
That was only 8. Let's see. Okay, so she found your next body. 12. Go for it.
Okay. In 12, I highlighted where she talks about herself. She says, I was born for a purpose that I can't even fulfill. Not anymore. It was a decision I had to make, and I've come to terms with it. So in this moment, you don't know, but I believe we find out later that she's had a hysterectomy of some kind or something like that. So she was born for a purpose that she can't fulfill. The women in the society are born to reproduce. That is what they do. That is your job, and serve your Lord. And she can't do that anymore. So literally to her in this society, she can't fulfill that purpose. Then I highlighted where she goes to have dinner at her dad's house, which is Bill.
Oh, Bill.
And when she walks in, she's greeted by his new wife. She's always been kept in the dark, kind of hidden, but suddenly he's decided that he wants her to start coming out and for them to be a family. And so she goes over for dinner, and while she's there, 2 people walk out of another room and introduce themselves to her. And it's Sin and his wife Ellie. So Sin the next day goes to Carnage and meets with Cash and Hayden and Saint. And I highlighted where he tells them, while at my mom's last night, she announced that she's been regifted to Bill. And then they're talking about Eve was there, and she's Bill's daughter. Hayden shakes his head. Bill doesn't have a daughter. He does, Sin argues. No, you're mistaken. He practically raised Charlotte these past 6 years after I killed her father that night on the Isabella. If Bill had another child, Charlotte would have mentioned that. She would have been in their lives. I'm telling you, she's his daughter. She called him Dad. My mother introduced her to me and Ellie as my stepsister. That's a little weird. Like,
we're in our 20s?
And you're just meeting her for the first time. Let's not jump to titles and labels just yet.
Well, I mean, technically they're getting married, so it would be.
But still, they're already married. She was regifted.
Oh, that's right. They already got married.
But still. She belongs to him, Sin argues. She does have a daddy, the realtor had said. This is Cash thinking that. Was Bill the man who bought her the house? If so, why would he do that for her? So that's everything that I highlighted in chapter 12.
Okay.
I just found that in this moment, I was like, oh my God, it's Bill. Bill? Oh my God. Like I was texting Kayla and Rayleigh, like, because that is not who I thought her daddy was going to be.
I didn't know who it was. I didn't think it was him.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
We're not going to paint nails right now.
I have chapter 14, which starts with which I think this is part of a flashback. It's when.
Did I not highlight anything in 13?
No. Go for it.
I only highlighted one bit in 13, and it says, it's from Everett's point of view, I believe. It says, my mom is never mentioned. My father didn't even know her. He was just the highest bidder, and I was the result. So that leads me to believe that her mom was raised up in the same lifestyle that she's lived, if her dad was the highest bidder.
Yeah. At first, I assumed she was a breeder, but the highest bidder, it may have been that she is part of the secret.
The trafficking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did highlight a few things in 14, but...
this is the chapter where we find out that when Everett was saved by Belle.
Yeah.
He ended up at Dollhouse or at her house, and for some reason he decided to remove her from the situation and got her to a doctor, which is Gavin. Gavin and Devin are twins, and they're both doctors.
I feel like he has ulterior motives.
I don't trust the doctors based on this one.
Haley, please stop. I have never had an issue with the doctors up to this point.
Right.
But I feel like Bill has some ulterior motives. Like there's something going on here for him.
Haley, go to the living room.
For him to just walk in and save this girl.
Yeah.
Like, so there's just something... Because there was a bunch of people at Dollhouse. So if he saved her from...
Why her?
I don't... Yeah. There's just something...
We do know that in this one incident, she was beat up pretty bad. So maybe that will he was like, I can't do this. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. We don't know.
Yeah. Gavin... Eve has a run-in with Gavin now that makes me not trust Gavin. Or maybe Gavin knows more than he's letting on, which that's his job. His job is to just treat and not ask questions and not worry about it. So maybe that is, and Eve's just taking it personally, as she should. But yeah, so.
You're talking about when he came to her house?
Yeah.
Otherwise, up to this point, Gavin's been a good guy.
Yeah. He's one of the doctors. He fixes everyone and sews them up, and
he even went to help get Ellie back.
Oh yeah,
because he was in his care, and Ellie, he just loaded up in the car. It's like, let's go. There's a gun in my glove box. So,
that is okay. Yeah. So 14 is where we find out. This is when Bill saves her, and this is where we find out that Gavin says to Bill that. All I can find from my testing is that she's had a hysterectomy.
So this is where we found. I think we find that out. I just wasn't sure.
I question, if she had a hysterectomy or if she was ever born with a uterus, because it's rare, but women are sometimes born without uteruses. Uteri. Anyways,
you usually don't say it in more than one. I don't know.
So because we find out through flashbacks that she's not getting pregnant and they want her to get pregnant. So that's when her real dad brings in who we assume is Isabella and is giving her like supplements, and Isabella saying like she needs to be fed properly, she needs to eat properly, she's never going to.
They were like
do that,
beating her and starving her, and treating her terribly, which is obviously not conditions to for pregnancy.
Yeah,
conditions to foster a pregnancy.
And there's just multiple little sayings of maybe this one will take and stuff like that. That makes me think that maybe she was just never fertile. Maybe because she's never had a uterus.
Reason why I don't think that's correct.
Who would give her a hysterectomy if their goal was to get her pregnant?
Well, So back in 12, where I highlighted I was born for a purpose that I can't even fulfill, she says, not anymore. It was a decision I had to make, and I've come to terms with it.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
So
maybe
something
at some
might have
point-
happened.
So yeah,
And we just haven't gotten there yet.
yeah. Okay, I missed that. So this is where we find out that Adam and Bill are not working together, but they do know of each other, and they're both working in conjunction to make sure Eve's safe.
Yeah. They're both kind of using her a little bit.
Yes, 100%. Adam is the reason that Eve is killing men. He is giving her an outlet for revenge because she wants revenge on men, based on her history.
Mm-hmm.
So he's, I guess, giving her assignments. I don't know how he's finding out who's bad, or if they're just assuming every lord is bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't fully understand that system and how it works.
But he gives her an assignment, and she goes and does her thing.
What chapter are you on?
This is still 14 highlights. And then it goes 16 is the next
So if
highlight.
you stopped at 15, stop now because we're about to go a little bit farther.
Yeah, we're now, my next highlight's in 16. So
Mine's in 17.
Okay, cool. If you only read to 15, log off. Come back later. You said you had 17?
Yeah, so
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I have 16. This is where you find out she has a brother.
Wish I didn't know that.
This is, I don't remember what this is part of, but someone's in her living room, and he just says to her, "What the F happened tonight?" And she says every muscle in her body tenses and her pulse begins to race.
I think it's Cash. He was waiting in her living room.
I assumed it was Cash, but that's not.
No.
Because he says, "You work for me." Let me just go to it to make sure instead of just a highlight.
I knew that her brother did come by, but I thought he was in the kitchen.
Oh, never mind. This must be Adam.
Oh.
Yeah, this is when Cash finds her at the hotel, does stuff with her at the hotel, and then leaves her. And then she gets a phone call, and she puts it on speaker and says, "What the F happened?" A familiar voice barks, and every muscle in my body tenses when I pull. So that is...
Ashton is hiding in her closet.
Oh, okay. So yes, this is Adam talking to her. She goes, "I'm good, thanks for asking." And then he says, "You weren't supposed to kill both of them." So they ended up being brothers, is what she tells him.
One of them wanted to urinate down my throat. I kept thinking, like, I'm reading that wrong. That's not what he's asking to do.
Nope, that's exactly what he was asking.
No, thank you.
So this is where we find out why Eve gets sick, or this is where Cash finds out why Eve gets sick after sleeping with him, and it just gives a little bit more. Cash learns more about her. We already knew this as readers, but Cash learns more about her, and also learns that she's talks to Adam, and he's the one who's giving her the assignments.
And that Adam kind of tells her to stay away from Cash.
Yes.
So that hurts a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes the way I highlight things really makes me giggle.
Well, I had to start giving myself notes. Like, why did I highlight that?
Well, I highlighted at 17 and then nothing.
Okay. Cool.
Through 28.
Oh, God.
And there was stuff to highlight.
And I didn't highlight anything in 17, so go for it.
Okay. Haley, no man. Okay, so I highlighted Bill was the one who removed her from Dollhouse. Adam tells that to Cashin because after Cash overhears this conversation, he immediately leaves once she goes to sleep and goes to Adam's house that he shares with Hayden. And so he demands to know all the things. And so then the next thing I highlighted says, "Christ, Adam, why are you lying to me? Bill had her over for dinner the other night. Sin and Ellie were there since Bill married his mother. He called Eve his daughter, but when Sim brought this to our attention, Hayden got Charlotte involved and she was unaware he had other kids. So why now? Why show her off to everyone now? Because Isabella was his wife," he shouts and then takes a deep breath. "Now Isabella is a prisoner at Carnage and Bill is free of that bitch. Isabella wants Everett to have a life as close to a normal one as she can. This is him giving her that. If that timeline is correct," this is Cash thinking to himself, "that means she was a doll that night on the Isabella, which is the night that he met her and saved her from the guy that was trying to rape her or had paid for her or whatever had happened that night.
And his dad had told him that. Because he had one point that, I don't know if we've gotten there yet.
We did.
It was okay, we did.
I don't.
It was a flashback.
If
so I don't
you
know.
stopped at 20, I don't know if we've gotten there yet.
I won't say it yet then. I'll say it after 20 just to make sure.
Because obviously I didn't highlight anything after 17.
Okay.
So I don't know if there was nothing to highlight or if I was just too into reading that I couldn't. I do know that I had originally stopped at 27 and then my eyes accidentally started reading chapter 28. And then so I had to read that as well because I had to find out how that ended up.
See what 18 is. So 18, I think this is her brother because I highlighted like all of it.
God, her brother is awful. And we've only seen him that one time that we know of.
So he does end up in her house. She turns on the living room light. She jumps. What are you doing here? Because we need to talk. She says, just call me. It's easier to ignore. Which I thought was clever.
I also thought it was clever.
She grabs a bottle of water. And at this point, I'm thinking that it's Cash. But it's not. And he says, I got a call. And she huffs. And she goes, I don't know who called him. I know he won't tell me if I ask. And she just says, I have it under control. He lifts his hand, runs his knuckles down her exposed neck. I don't think you do. She stiffens because she's thinking to herself, did Cash leave marks? She goes, I mean, I'm covered in bruises, but that's nothing new. And she says, your concern isn't needed, leave. She's telling this person to leave. So now we know that it's not Cash. You know he's going to be a problem, right? I want to ask who the he is he's talking about, but I don't. If I ask that, then he'll definitely know I don't have anything under control. Says you can't F your way out of this, Eve. So we still don't know who this person is. It's maybe I should try. Always seems to work for the Lords. So he grabs her, spins her around, and he starts acting like he wants to do stuff with her. And then he says, I need to release some tension, and starts acting like that. A sour taste fills Eve's mouth. I want to blame it on the alcohol, but I know it's from him touching me in such an intimate way. And she just says, I'm not into incest. And this is where my mouth drops. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Who is this? What? And then he chuckles. When his free hand slides between her legs, she closed her eyes. He says, you can't act as tough as you want, Eve. But we both know you have no control over who F's her. I was the one who trained you after all. In some of her flashbacks, we know that she's been trained to be a doll at Dollhouse. And Gavin specifically says there's tearing, so I feel like she was trained with objects, not a person. So when he says this, I'm like, well, now we know that the person who trained her is still involved. It goes through, he eventually leaves. And then towards the end, he just says, I'll see you soon, sis. And that's when I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So we find out that this is her brother, and then she immediately has a flashback, or almost immediately has a flashback of her talking with her dad. Her dad's like yelling at her or something, and then someone comes in and says, your son wants you. So we know that she has a brother now, and that this is the brother and that he trained her. And that made me want to throw up a little.
Yep.
A lot.
Yeah.
Made me want to throw up a lot. So that's you haven't highlighted anything else, right?
I got nothing.
Okay. All right, let me see.
I could talk about things, but I got
Yes,
nothing.
I think I didn't highlight much else. So, because remember I said I stopped because I was just like so into it.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff in there.
Okay, my next highlight's not till 25. So if you only read to 20, just stop right now.
You're done. If you read to 20, it was great talking to you. We enjoyed having you. Come back and revisit. Haley, please stop. Life of the 4-year-old, man.
Haley.
At least she used that finger this time. Come back and revisit us on this episode after you read past 20.
My next highlight's 25, and you haven't highlighted anything, right?
Nothing.
Okay, cool. We're going to go through my highlights because there's not much left, and then we'll try and remember stuff that we remembered but didn't highlight. So chapter 25, it's Cassian's POV. They go back and forth in a chapter, so that's always reliable. We'll see. It says, I like where we pretend that we don't know each other. Just because I don't see any physical signs of a concussion doesn't mean you don't have one. So this is Eve. She gets banged up on one of her jobs.
Yeah, the guy like punches her in the face or hits her in the face with his head or something.
Yeah.
He hits her in the face.
There it is. Haley, come over here.
For what?
Come over here.
For what?
Because we're talking. So come over here.
So Haley, what did Kayla ask you to do? Haley. Cash was waiting for her when she gets home.
Yeah.
And he sees what's happened to her face.
She faints on him.
Yeah.
She passes out.
So he calls Gavin, which was the encounter that you were referring to where you're like,
Yeah.
I don't entirely trust him.
And that's what this is.
Remember it being awful. I felt like he was trying not to say things in front of Cassian.
Yeah. Which is, like I said, like,
patient doctor confidentiality.
Yeah. Eve doesn't trust anyone, but Gavin and Devin truly are just like, I'm a medical person. I know I didn't see anything. That those are the kind of people they are. So I'm with Eve and her. She's just, I don't know, it seems like she doesn't trust anyone. But this is where she says that.
I do trust Gavin just based on our history throughout the books, but I could understand, especially if she has seen him before.
In her times.
You know, who knows?
She's gotten pretty beat up in some of her flashbacks.
Yeah. So I don't know if he just treated those and that's what she knows of him.
Yeah.
And he didn't ask questions or do anything. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Chapter 26. This is, I didn't highlight this for any plot reasons. This is Cash. It says, it feels good to be needed, for someone to depend on me. It's been a long time since I took care of someone. That's Cash saying that. And it just made me stop because it goes back to his abandonment issues.
Yeah.
Both of his brothers have wives now, so now he feels alone.
Yeah.
And I read that and I was like, oh no, Cash.
Yeah.
So that's why I highlighted that.
He's struggling.
Yeah. And then, I highlighted something in 29 because I didn't think I was in 29. I thought I was in 28. And then I checked and I was like, oh, I'm in 29. Let me go back. But it's funny. I'm going to say it because it has nothing to do with the plot. It's Cash saying, if she doesn't want to kill me daily, then I don't want it.
I mean, you know?
So, what was I going to say about Cash that I said I would wait? I don't remember now.
I don't know.
Let me go back to my highlights and see if I remember.
I was like, I don't know if that happened before 20.
I don't remember. That's fine. So, this I feel is almost more heartbreaking than
Haley.
Ellie's
story was so bad and so sad, but Everett's story is more violent.
It's very violent. Like I said, some of the flashbacks, I'm like, there's one in particular that I'm just like, I don't know if I'm gonna get through this book. Ellie, there was one point, and I think it was more because someone did something bad to her that I thought we were good to trust. This is before we realized that all the parents stuck in these books. And then that person ended up being like one of the main perpetrators, and I just sobbed for Ellie. It just keeps coming, and it's so early in the book that I just feel like it's going to get worse for Eve, and I don't know if I'm going to handle this book well.
I just want to know who her dad is.
And her brother. Well, we'll find out at the same time, I'm sure. I wonder if we know them already, though. Or if we only kind of know them.
That's what I'm afraid of. It's like, who is it? Like,
Rayleigh said that she Googled something, and I don't think this is true. That's why I'm saying this. And for some reason,
Haley.
It was, I don't know, who has a sister or something like that. And Google AI told her, like,
I hate Google
if you're
AI.
referring to Easton Sinnott Bradley, and it went through, and I was like, that would crush me if this was sin. I was like, it's not sin. Like, it's not.
I have seen a lot of things on Facebook, and one of my favorite memes or whatever is from The Town, the movie The Town with Ben Affleck.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who plays Hawkeye. So Ben's like, I need your help. We're gonna do something. We're gonna hurt a lot of people, and you can't tell anyone. And the guy's just sitting there watching TV, and he looks at him. And he's like, whose car are we gonna take? So in this one, it's showing that like the Spade brothers is Ben, and then Sin is the one saying, whose car are we gonna take? And so I'm like, do they come back together?
So I've done a really good job of.
They did go on the joyride
stuff. Yeah. So they did make up
a little bit.
I think this is as much as they're going to make up right now, because we find out. So in the End of Madness, the guys find out that their founder's daughters were injected with something to make them an enhancer to make them live longer. Well, the guys found this out and were like, I'm not gonna live, like, I'm not gonna let my wife live longer than me. So they went to Dollhouse to find the enhancements so they could take them as well.
But this is also fishy because there was nothing happening at Dollhouse at that time. So apparently Dollhouse is a huge area.
Yeah.
Like multiple places or buildings on the property. And the one that they went to, there was nobody in. Right. It was completely cleared out. So Bill knows more than he's letting on, because he knew the exact place that they needed to go to get the enhancements. He knew when to go, so there was nobody there. When they went and got Hayden, that was like an in and out mission.
Yeah. They thought there was going to be more bloodshed, but there was no one there. So they're assuming, they don't trust Bill, clearly at this point.
Me neither.
They're assuming that Bill gave them the heads up, told them to get out, just leave Hayden there so they can get it, make sure it seems like they got out fine. And the same thing with the enhancements, they got in and were able to get them and take them. So yeah. But what we're finding out is that the people who are taking the enhancements, they're having really vivid hallucinations.
Which Hayden did in Madness. He got the enhancers while he was at Dollhouse being held captive, and he had really bad hallucinations.
Yeah.
So now Riot called Hayden? Saint? Hayden. He called Hayden, I think, in the book, and was like in the middle of the night, and was like sobbing, like, did you have these hallucinations? Because he has a wife and kids now. Or maybe she's still pregnant. I can't remember. And he's like just imagining all these awful things that have happened to them, but it's not real. Mm-hmm. So Hayden was like, you need to call Sin to see
if he's having the same hallucinations. But Sin's the one who reached out to catch. Do you remember why?
He just said, you want to go for a ride?
Yeah. And then, this doesn't count as torture because they didn't torture anybody. But there were some people who were running their mouths and they just beat the shit out of them. So we got to fight out.
And then they called Daddy Tyson to bail him out of jail.
So, I did cross that one up. Tyson helps the Spade brothers. He also has a detective who, for some reason, he has something on the detective. So the detective is giving them info about missing women. There's more missing women. So Tyson's helped the Spade brothers in more ways than one. Now you have more than me. Why? No, we have the same amount. We have the same amount. Just kidding. Yeah. So Tyson does help them in more ways than one, but he bails them out of jail then. Or he doesn't have to bail them out of jail. He tells this detective, like, hey, go get them, and he releases them. We have Cash ties up Eve.
That's definitely the first time he tied her up. I didn't know if it qualified, but at this point, he's now tied her up with a bar between her legs and
I think her arms were.
Head.
I think what got me is that her arms and legs, or maybe her legs weren't, but her arms were like she couldn't move.
Yeah, she definitely couldn't move.
Or maybe no, they were.
He had handcuffed them like up here and down here,
and there was like belts around them.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, he tied her up. It's fine.
He gagged her too and put a hood over her, so she was definitely tied up. So I think if there were questions about if some of the other times qualified,
this one did.
No question.
And the reason he does that is because he's now found out that she was a doll. She has trauma. she doesn't trust men clearly because she's killing them. So he's in his head, we're getting his like monologue, and he's saying, I want her to know that she can trust me. And that's
if you're
how he
wondering,
decides
like, is
to
this
do
the
it.
right way to go about it? No. No, it is not.
What's that TikTok? This isn't love, this is a felony.
Yeah.
So,
we're not condoning these things. We're just explaining them as the book explained it to us.
Yes.
So the book says, that he wants her to be able to be free to enjoy these things because she apparently likes pain, but she's also ashamed that she likes those things because of the world that she was brought up in and the way that she was brought up. And so he wants her to know that it's okay to feel those things and it's okay to like them, and that she can trust him to know that he's just going to do just those things that she likes and not torture her or sell her or do things.
I think he says that multiple times in that instance. Like, it's just me and you. Like, he keeps reassuring her, like, no one else is coming in. Like, it's just me and you.
Music for her.
Oh my! I looked up the lyrics to that song. He plays "Angel" by. I can't look up "Angel" because he calls her Angel.
That's what he calls her.
Yeah, he calls all of these books. My favorite's Little Demon.
Don't you, Little Demon, man. So funny.
When Sin and Cash get arrested, Tyson bails them out. Well, Tyson's wife is
with Ellie,
or they're on the phone or something. Somehow Ellie finds out, so they walk out, and Sin's like, "Shit," and Ellie's there, and so he perks up. He's like, "Little," and she's like, "Don't you little demon me!" I was like, oh God, she's pissed off.
Superman.
So yeah, Little Demon. Riot calls Blakely. You're gonna have to Google these on my own. Jesus. They're all having nicknames.
Tyson says Little Darling.
Little Darling. Hayden he calls Ashton Sweet Cheeks.
Baby girl.
Baby girl? No. Yeah?
That's what he called Ashton. He
okay.
calls Charlotte Dollface.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Little One is what Riot calls it. That's a terrible name.
When you get to Little Demon, you're like, well, this is boring.
So Little One is what Riot calls Blakely. Little Darling is what Tyson calls Lakin. Little Demon is what Sin calls Ellie. And then Sweetheart is what Saint calls Ashton. And then Hayden calls Charlotte Dollface. I do love that one.
Dollface.
Yeah, okay.
And then Cash calls Eve Angel.
And in case you're wondering, my husband calls me Baby Doll. So.
Yeah, so that's what we have for now.
Does that conclude our book club?
I think so. We've gotten as far as we do.
How many chapters are we going to read? We got to do more than what we did. Because I don't want to stop reading. Should we go through chapter 50?
Chapter 50?
There are 90 chapters. We're about to start 29. I say 50.
How many chapters is that?
I'm bad at math. Why are you asking me that?
Well, 30 to 50 would be 20. So 21
chapters.
Okay.
How many pages is that, though? That's because some of these chapters are short. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of them are hella long. Some of them are short. So, chapter 29 starts on 182, and 51 starts on 305.
That's a good bit of pages.
Okay. So, we're only going to read the 50.
We're going to read the 50.
Do we know what chapter Rayleigh's on? I think Rayleigh's like in the 40s, so she's going to be ahead of us again. So Rayleigh's not abiding by this, and
Rayleigh doesn't follow the rules.
She constantly is like, what chapter? And we're like, we're still on chapter 28 because we needed to stop at some point. She's like on 40 something.
Back up.
And she keeps saying different things. So, yeah.
She keeps sending us things, and we're like, we want to know too! But we have to wait. So that's that.
So have the idea that we're going to read the 50. if you read past that, there's a chance that we could too. We'll just see how the week goes.
We're not confirming or denying anything.
So yeah, we will see you all next week.
Have
with
a
the
great
chaos.
week.
Have a great night.
Maybe less chaos. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Happy reading.